Hello there, my name is Maki. The story of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, has reached its conclusion. It ended with many characters finding their happiness. The sparkling wedding rings on the fingers of Merlin and Selecta were truly beautiful. One day, however, I'm sure there were many who shed tears at the sight of Shaddiq. Burdened with all the sins, it was told that he took on even the sins of Prosper. These were sins that resulted in the loss of far too many lives. Sadly, he is likely to face the harshest of punishments. But will the outcome really be such? Many hints exist in past Gundam series. Let's challenge ourselves to refute his last spoken words goodbye. Let's start by sorting out the situation that occurred in episode 24. The disappearance of Quiet Zero was extraordinarily supernatural. The physical vanishing of such a massive entity is an incredibly irregular occurrence, and let's pay attention to the beings that triggered this phenomenon. They are the Gundams, starting with Gundam Caliburn. They activated an unknown planet's core, glowing in rainbow colors. By enhancing the planet's core, it becomes possible to access machinery using planet particles more powerfully. It's the content we discussed in the Planet Explanatory program. This power reached as far as the moon, far beyond the space where Quiet Zero existed. It's the power that Prosper aimed for, capable of bringing effects to the entire Earth sphere. Gundam Caliburn demonstrated such power. Gundam Caliburn and the other Gundams disappeared, but Selecta still exists. Therefore, if conditions align, the same phenomenon can be considered to occur. What if the unknown power Selecta transferred to Elect as a keyholder was also observed by others? The magic power she showed is indeed a miracle. There exists a technology that transfers the souls of the dead to other objects. It's easy to understand that if many people knew about such a thing, it would cause a great stir. These phenomena alone are extremely serious situations. However, that's not all. We must also deal with the fact that the interplanetary power transmission system was used as a massive weapon. The Space Congress Union has carried out dangerous actions involving civilians. If this fact becomes known, it will likely provoke a lot of backlash. They are in possession of a weapon that can annihilate people at any time. A thorough cover-up must be executed concerning this attack. Let's take a moment to look at other Gundam series. In Mobile Suit Gundam Charles' counterattack, Bright Noir and his unit managed to avoid the maximum penalty from a military tribunal. He acted to prevent the operation of dropping the asteroid Axis onto Earth. Recall the words he spoke in the final operation meeting. "I'm sorry, please entrust your lives to me." This line is often misunderstood. It's frequently taken as a plea for his subordinates to steel themselves for severe operation, of course. I believe that intention is part of it. However, Bright is critically violating an international treaty. He introduced 15 nuclear missiles diverted from civilian sources into the operation. These nuclear weapons were obtained from a space colony inspector named Camille Blue. Camille stated this: if the Earth Federation government finds out, I'll be serving a life sentence. The same would be true for Bright, of course. The same thing would apply to the members of the unit who participated in the same operation. That's why he said, "Please entrust your lives to me," at the final operation meeting. However, they did not receive such a penalty. The asteroid Axis was diverted from its trajectory towards Earth by a mysterious light. Faced with this extremely supernatural phenomenon, the Earth Federation government had to devote all its energy to resolving the situation. This even extended to choosing not to execute the punishment for the Londo Bell team, which was at the center of the situation. Do you remember, a supremely supernatural situation also occurred in the final battle of the witch from Mercury? Koyuki, who appears in Mobile Suit Gundam 1083 Stardust Memory, also had the experience of escaping punishment due to political judgments. He too fought to prevent a space colony from being dropped onto Earth. However, he and his unit acted in deviation from the command of the Earth Federation forces. It would be treated as if they used the Earth Federation forces' weapons for private use. They even executed the act of hijacking a prototype Gundam, hijacking military weapons and using them privately. This is a crime subject to extremely severe penalties. However, the Earth Federation forces chose to conceal the Gundam development project. The existence of the second Gundam prototype, equipped with nuclear weapons that violated international treaties, is said to be significant. First of all, Koyuki is sentenced to 1 year in prison. This is an unnaturally-like punishment. Then Koyuki's charges disappear. The criminal acts also vanish due to the concealment of the Gundam development project. Koyuki's facial expression, unable to hide his anger at the selfish conclusion, is striking. However, he became an innocent person. Might not the Space Federation Union want to hide the Gundam and the rainbow-colored puppet's core? Wouldn't they want to certify that none of them existed? It's an incredibly absurd theory, but the possibility exists. The Space Federation Union is so selfish as to carry out an attack that ignores civilian casualties. If all the incidents related to Gundam were as if they had never happened, it would mean that Shaddiq did nothing. A way for Shaddiq to survive seems to be coming into view. Recall the last words Elect said to Merlin: "I want you to respect my advice." These words were spoken in a very casual tone. This line was delivered in a scene after Merlin had an encounter with Shaddiq. What was Elect's advice? Did he ask Merlin to honestly express her feelings to Shaddiq? Or did he suggest a way to resolve a certain situation? I don't know, but one thing is certain: Elect is also an extraordinary supernatural being. The object attracted by the hand of Gundam Caliburn is Elect's main body. It's like a box condensed with perfect particles. It's akin to a magic box. Is Elect merely a key holder? Or is he an entity that inherited the power exhibited by the Gundams? If he possesses magical powers, it would not be strange for him to have some means. And a minor point, but the peaceful lives Merlin and Selector were leading in the final episode were also unnatural. I want to celebrate their happy ending. But what could be the reason the Space Congress Union would neglect Selector, who has triggered many miracles? Amaoe, the protagonist of the original Gundam, was under house arrest in the sequel Zeta Gundam. He was confined by the Earth Federation forces, ostensibly as a respectful treatment worthy of a hero. It leaves questions as to how this incident is being treated by the Space Congress Union. How was that? Perhaps a way for Shaddiq to continue to appear in the story has come into view. The supernatural power and the selfish convenience of the Space Congress Union are key points. When these two combine, it may open up the possibility of the situation improving. Treats Kashueisha of Gundam Wing once said, "I want to love those who have become losers to create a new era." However, Kanji Avery from The Witch from Mercury said responsibility must be taken by adults. Students should not be made to bear responsibility. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment form. Finally, I have some good news for you. The subscribe button on the screen you are viewing is a switch. To appeal for a reduction in Shaddiq's sentence, the like button and bell button next to it have the same function. By taking action, you can help him move closer to freedom. Let's meet again in the next show.